All right.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
Definitely feel awake now. Nothing
Yeah.
like the Jackson
Yes.
5 to get you up in the morning.
Hi, Avery. Oops, disappeared.
Hello, but I'm here.
How are you?
Good. Don't want to be
Rebecca, that's my
recorded.
that's Avery is my neighbor here in our new neighborhood, and she helps like Maasai kids in Kenya, like the girls go to school.
That's awesome. I was wondering who Avery was. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Yeah.
you all.
Welcome,
Nice to meet
Avery.
you all.
Yeah, she and her
Awesome.
husband help the Maasai girls like to be.
Oh, Avery, that's right. We've met before. I've heard
Yes.
your story before. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Nice to have you back. Well,
Well, it's nice-
welcome.
Nice
Yeah.
to be here, but I may turn my my camera off if you don't mind.
No,
Okay.
that's good.
Okay.
That's fine.
I see you have some family back there behind you,
I have
Avery. Avery, I see you have some family back behind you, some above over there.
Isn't this cool? My son lives in Colorado and he knows we miss him very much. And because of COVID, it was our first Christmas that we didn't have together. So he sent a life-size cardboard cutout of himself
Oh.
and his girlfriend.
Oh my goodness.
So that's my son, Matthew.
Oh my
He
God.
recently proposed to the girl he's got his arm around.
Mm.
His
Oh,
name is
wow.
Hadassah, and they live in the Red Rocks near Denver.
Wow.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to create one for my kids when they leave home so that I feel like they're always in the house.
It
Yeah.
really helped over the Christmas season.
Oh,
Yeah.
It really helped to have that every day I'd come down and I wouldn't feel like I have to miss my son this day.
Yeah,
oh, what a good idea. That's really nice.
Yeah, that was-
that is a nice idea.
Yeah. I wonder where you got that, where you had that made.
he had it made, and I think it's called Ideal Photos or something, but I'm sure if you search cutout figure, you know,
Ah, okay.
size
Oh,
figure,
that's
it'll come out.
nice.
It's not expensive. I think it was like $30.
Oh, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm making one of all my children.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
That's good. Thank you.
Well,
Right.
welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for our weekly youth conference here at Voice of Our Child. Hold on one moment. I have a little bit of noise. Sorry, we have some early morning chores going on in the house as we speak. So I'm Rebecca West Hensinger. I'm the director and moderator here. We're so happy that you took time out of your day to join us for our guest presenter today, who's going to be talking about overcoming anxiety and depression through writing. So this is really going to be a very useful and memorable presentation for everybody out there who is looking for an outlet, okay? A creative outlet, a way to overcome. It doesn't even matter if you are suffering from anxiety or depression. This presenter will definitely speak to your heart no matter what, because everybody has a day where they need to reflect or really think some things through or get some different ideas. And writing is a really great way to come about that. So really excited for today. But first we go live. Before we go live on Facebook in about 45 minutes, we always take this time to check in with our core group, which is all of you. And we would like to know your name, your age, where you're living right now. And we always have a question of the day. And today, in case you didn't see it in our WhatsApp group, the question is, what was your high and your low for the week? So tell us something that was really great that happened to you, and maybe something that wasn't so great or something that you're working on changing. So your high and your low. Sometimes in my house, we call it the rose and the thorn, right? All right. So there's your assignment for today. This is just another way that we get the chance and the honor of getting to know all of you. But before we start the intros of our core group, I would like to introduce to you our founder and co-founder. So first, may I please present to you the reason why all of us are here. I got a really great bio from her late last night, detailing even more things about her life, her accomplishments, things that she's passionate about. And I feel like I learned something new about her every week. Did you guys know that our founder, Dr. Caroline Verkuyk, was Flight Attendant of the Year for executive jets? How cool is that? That, I mean, when I think of a really good flight attendant, it's somebody that makes you feel safe. It's somebody that is hospitable, that can anticipate your needs, that wants to help you. And out of all of the flight attendants for executive jets, our very own Dr. Caroline was nominated as #1, which is really, really incredible. So she has a lot of experience in the travel and tourism industry. She also worked for some of the top tour groups in Kenya, and now she has her own company, Water Gap Africa Safaris, which all of us here, hopefully all of us, will be taking full advantage of her expertise this June when we all go for our humanitarian trip to Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, our founder, Dr. Caroline Verkuyk.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. Every time you introduce me, it's like I need to tape you and I wake up and just listen to your beautiful voice and everything. And Rebecca is our director. She is the current Mrs. Denmark World, and she has such an amazing platform. And she was also Mrs. Pennsylvania, and I can't wait for her to compete again. She's just a ray of sunshine. I keep talking about her and I call her my soulmate because I was looking for somebody who had that same passion that I have for the voice of our child, and I found that person in Rebecca, and I love her so much. She still didn't answer the question of the day, but I started this organization because as a parent, I have a child who had struggled so much with depression. I didn't know what to call it. She also didn't know how to call it. And it was almost too late. But I realized that unless we engage all our kids in like a little village, it takes a village to raise a child. I wanted to make sure that there's no child who goes out there without really realizing what they're feeling and what to call it, and that there's help. And that for every parent to know the signs and symptoms of depression or anxiety in their children so that it can be addressed sooner. Because I believe that depression and suicidal ideation is the end result of so many issues that have gone unsolved. And through having wonderful speakers like Meghan, our kids are able to learn so many new life skills than they would ever have been taught if they were just like reading from a book or checking on the internet. So I'm really grateful for this organization and the kids that we meet here and how they have grown, and the teachers and the parents. So my low this week was, after listening to Justin, I know that our question last week was, how do you address issues that you have? And I said that I'm just quiet and I go out and pray. But after listening to Justin, I realized that it's better to speak out. So I was able to speak out my feelings about something that was hurting me with my whole family. And my high was, I think that because I said that, I felt this whole burden like this lifted off from me, that I was able to speak out. Because I know when the kids were saying, oh, they punch like bags or they punch a wall, you know, sometimes keeping those feelings inside is not good. And sometimes when we don't talk about how we feel to the people who hurt us, they would never know how they're making you feel. So that was my high and low all in one. Thank you.
Awesome answer. And thank you for answering the question, Dr. Caroline. I will go ahead. I will answer my question very, very quickly. My high this week actually just happened about 20 minutes ago. I received some videos from my dear brother, John, in Africa, in Kenya. And they were videos of some children who I had sent some birthday money to. I had a fundraiser for my birthday, Dr. Caroline and I both together. And I got to see the pictures of how that money was spent and just to see their faces. And it just makes me so, so, so excited to hopefully meet most of them in person this summer when we travel to Kenya. I mean, this is really the trip of a lifetime, you guys. The experiences we're going to have, the beautiful people that we're going to meet, and the things that we'll do together. I just cannot wait. And receiving those pictures makes me even more excited. And when I think about if I got, you know, when I got some money for my birthday, the things that I would have bought mean absolutely nothing. They mean nothing to me in comparison to seeing the faces of these incredible kids and adults in Kenya. That's what it's all about, you guys. So that was definitely my high. And my low, I mean, this is kind of weird, but I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Hold on. Wesley, can you stop that for a second? Sorry, the chores continue. My low, and to be very honest, my husband's company didn't have a very good week. And the reason is because part of his company, he does a lot of COVID testing. And right now, with the vaccinations really becoming more readily available here in the US, we're not getting as many orders for the testing. So financially, it was a really big hit for our company this week. But we always figure things out. And that's just the way the world works. Sometimes things are really good and sometimes things aren't so good, but things will always balance out. And that depends on your attitude and how innovative you are. So it was a tough week in that way. I know this next week will be better. Now we're here at the weekend and we're just going to spend some time together as a family, get outside. And I know that all will be well. So just being honest with you guys.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
You got it.
Things
So
like
next, it's just the way of life, you know, that's the way life is. Things aren't always an up. There's always a down, right? Things can't be up all the time. There's got to be that balance in the middle. And that's what we're always working towards.
But we have faith that things will get back. Yeah, just like us with our tour company, not making any trips to Kenya for the whole year. But I have hope and faith that when the season picks up, we'll have more people going there.
Yep. And we definitely have that to look forward to.
Yes.
So next, I would love to have our co-founder and resident DJ introduce himself to all of you. He is known and loved across the world, everybody,
Wow.
Mr. David Verkuyt.
That's nice that I'm loved across the world. Thank you. So I just wanted to, before I say anything about that, I wanted to let you know how much Caroline sacrificed for the money that ended up getting brought together from Rebecca's birthday. And she suffered because it was a roller skating birthday party, and she fell, and it had nothing to do with me. But she broke her arm when she fell.
I don't know about that.
I was helping her, because she did never do roller skating, and then I don't know how I did, but I fell, and I was trying to hold her up at the same time, but instead I kept her hand and I pulled her down, and she supported herself with her hand and broke her wrist. But she broke her wrist. I didn't break her wrist. I just helped her to break her wrist, I guess. So anyway, so Caroline sacrificed a lot for the money that was earned at the birthday party and the people that got the kids in Kenya that were so blessed from that. So I just wanted to mention that.
So you want the people to know that I broke my arm.
And she's still suffering from the pain. She's got the cast off, but she's getting there.
It was worth every struggle. It was definitely worth it.
Oh, that's good.
Rebecca will always be trying things for the first time.
So anyway, there's 3 months and 19 days, 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 19 seconds till we go to Kenya, which is June 25th. And that's really exciting because it's getting really close. It's kind of like when we first started this, it was almost a year beforehand. And I thought, oh my God, maybe this will never happen because we're deep into COVID and no vaccines were made at that time. But now it looks like it probably will happen. And we're really looking forward to that because I love going to Kenya. And if you haven't been there, I'm sure you're going to love it, and you're going to enjoy the tour from Water Gap Africa Safaris, and just the company of everybody that we have here on this call, because we'll do the Zoom calls from there more than likely, and you'll be able to see all the people that are from Kenya that are on this call as well as we, as we talk to them during the Zoom calls, we'll be able to see John, and we'll be able to see Tamara and so many other people. So that'll be really nice. Pardon?
And Betty.
And Betty and her kids and everybody from Kenya, and then hopefully a lot more people as well. So anyway,
And
my
me
high
too,
and low.
David.
Pardon?
And me too, David.
And right, and Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Mama Pacey, Mrs. Bartes.
I know, but I'm not supposed to say, I think I wasn't supposed to say that or something. Was it okay?
It's the Elizabeth,
You're
you know.
welcome.
Okay, Elizabeth.
You're welcome.
Okay. It'll be so nice to see you, Elizabeth, and have everybody go walk through your school. It's a beautiful school, and John works there. And who's the other gentleman that works there, Caroline, that was on the calls?
Charles and Peter, I think. They
Yeah.
haven't been for a while, yeah.
Yeah, that it's a very beautiful
But
school.
John
There.
represents them very well.
So anyway, my high and low. My high this week was this call that I had on Friday in the office, and it was a call with a company that and also U.S. Customs, and we had to explain to U.S. Customs some stuff in order for my client to be able to be approved so that they could get a lot of money. And it was a good meeting, and Customs just asked for a few extra things, and they're going to be approved within a few weeks. So that's really makes me happy. And my low is all through the last number of weeks, we've had many calls with Customs and with the client. And the last one we had with Customs and the client was maybe 3 weeks ago. And I was thinking it was all over and everything was good. And then on Thursday, like at the end of the day, around 3:30, 4 o'clock, Customs asked for another call. And they wanted it on Friday morning. And that was my low because I was really freaking out. I thought they're going to tell me no. So I was really, really worried. I had no idea what they were going to ask about. I asked them, they gave me some little dinky information that didn't really help me much. And I went back to the client, let them know. And then just beforehand, they sent me some other stuff. So that was good and less nervous because it wasn't as much things that they're asking about. But anyway, that was my low because I thought everything was taken care of already weeks before, and it wasn't. And now they wanted more questions. And this lady at Customs, I like her so much, but she's very, very picky, and she wants to make sure everything is correct. So anyway, that's a long story. That was my low. I was really nervous, but it all worked out. That's it, Sarah.
Glad to hear that, David. Oh
I know,
gosh.
me too. Me too.
What a week, right? I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say, because now we've started this off being very, very honest. So kids and young adults who are listening, do not be afraid to really share your low, okay? So Lacey, why don't you start us off? I knew I was going to call on you.
Yeah, such a beautiful smile.
Hello, everyone. My name's Lacey. I'm 15 years old, and I live in Kenneline, New Jersey. And my low was probably just being stressed out with school and the work. And then my high would probably be finally being able to relax on the weekend and just spend time with my family.
That's
Nice.
cool.
Good. Nice, Lacey. All right. How about our beautiful Anita? Go ahead, Anita.
Can we see your whole face, Anita?
Yeah, I don't see Anita. Where is she?
Yeah, there she is.
Hi, my name is Anita. I'm 14 years old. I live in Kenneline, New Jersey. And my low for this week would probably be just like school. Like, it's stressful. And my high would be probably like seeing my friends in school.
A lot of school related things.
Yeah.
Yep.
School was never
Interesting
easy.
that your high and your low are both related to school, though. So.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks, Anita. Speaking of school, how about my dear brother John? Hey, John.
Hi.
How are you?
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm happy to join you all. My name is John Mutisia. I'm a teacher. I teach in the school that David has mentioned. That is Olerai schools. As he said, it's one of the best school. I can confirm that. To start with my law, I guess my lows and high were at the same time. So my low is when we took the donations to one of the interior villages in Masai land. I'm sure my mother, Madam Mrs. Patel, she will be talking about it. So on arriving, it was very dusty and sunny. So when I was able to see young boys and girls, some of them just wore t-shirts. That is everything. So I was really touched. And you would see the joy in them, but indeed you could see that they undergo so many challenges. And indeed also the stories that were given by their parents, their mothers. I guess it's a tradition that the men do not mingle with the children and the ladies in those areas. But again, my high was when we were leaving, the joy and the impact that we had made. I guess that was the best thing that they had seen in this year. It's like it was like a new year to them. So it was indeed changed everything from the low moments into high moments. We were able to talk to them. They were now opening. You know, when you got there, they saw these were strangers. But by the time we were leaving, having enjoyed a watermelon with them, they were able to open, talk to us. There was so much joy. And indeed, it has also been a turning point for me. If you visit that place, I guess you'll never complain. I remember the other day, Rebecca was saying they missed water for some days. These are people who, I guess, they miss water for a month. So it's a very precious commodity to them, water. So we took a few jerry cans for water, and they will even say this one goes to so and so because they've not gotten water for such a long period. So they're just used to the dirty water, but clean water, as long as it is clean, they even don't care, is it safe for drinking? As long as it's clear, for them it means a lot. So I guess that ended a week for me in a great way. And as I was telling Ms. Patel, that I'm grateful for taking me to that area. It is indeed changed a lot in me. So I guess that's how my lows and high were for the week. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you, John. When you think about the things that we really do take for granted every single day, every single hour, it puts a lot of it into perspective. And I'm just so thankful that you were able to send those pictures and videos and just give us a real glimpse into what the day was like visiting those amazing kids.
I know, John, and we have somebody here too, from my area who helps the Maasai tribe there. Maybe actually you and Mrs. Baltich might know the village when she explains to you, if she's able to explain to you where it is. But she's doing a lot for the Maasai kids too, the girls, and giving them school supplies and access to clean water. But I'll let her say it herself.
Yeah, go ahead, Avery, if you could introduce yourself. Let's move right into your introduction.
Yeah.
You're muted. Oh, okay.
We work in the Amboseli area. Is that near where you are?
Not really. I think you are more near Kajiado in Ngong, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. But it's the same people, the Maasais, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we work with, we were working with one small village, about 500 people. And then recently we had a young couple who live here in New Jersey in Ringwood, who through different circumstances on our Facebook page, they got involved with somebody we know here in New Jersey. And before I knew it, that this couple came and said they have no children and they decided to pay for the education of 10 girls.
Oh my goodness. How
What could we
so
say?
nice.
We said, yeah,
Wow.
but it was from a village not too near the first village that we were working. So now we work with 2 villages and we send 48 girls to school, which we're very happy to do. You know, COVID was an interesting year. We saved a lot of money because people donated for us to pay for these kids, and then they shut down the school. But when we said to the people who donated, do you want the money back? Because it was for tuition and we don't have to pay. Nobody said, no, we want the money back. So we were able to help the village a little more this year and put, for instance, they have a big water tank, but elephants still roam too near there and they had punctured the tank and stuff. So we were able to build a tank over that, and we rented them some farming land. So they grew their own crops and enough to sell some potatoes too. So it was an interesting year. We got involved with different things, and now they're going to permanently, one of the elders of the tribe died. He was very old and he was the chief's father, and nobody knew that he owned 10 acres and he donated them to the village. So now we're in a farming situation there, and the girls are all back at school. All 48 girls are back at school. We have to do some strategic thinking because our high school graduates wanted to go to college. And that was fine when it was inexpensive teachers' school, but now they want to be, you know, like one of them wants to be a chemist. So we're going to have to get our board together and see how can we continue to support these kids. Anyway, it's just really wonderful to meet you all here online and see your shining faces, and to know that there are so many people out there trying to do their best to help other people in this world and to connect our world, because I'm sure you all share my dream of a peaceful, harmonious, fulfilled world where everybody gets to live a life of meaning and pursue their own interests and doesn't have to live in need every day of hoping that you can get a drink of clean water. Yeah, so that's all about.
Agree. Thanks,
That is-
Avery.
Yeah, that's really so beautiful. Mrs. Partet, who owns a school where John works, she's actually, her husband is of the Maasai tribe. And so she has a lot of experience there, and she has really gotten a lot of kids from there, like girls. And actually she's fostered, I think she collects kids. she has so many. She always is really for the education of the girl child. And she has a school there that we'll be visiting. And I'll forward you some of the pictures that they sent me about this Maasai tribe that they had visited, just for you to see that, yeah, to bring those memories back to you about the Kenya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you go again next year, maybe we can do some joint venture.
Oh, yes, yeah, you can
Sure.
connect with them. Yes, yeah, with John and Mrs. Paltit. That would be really great.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's definitely a feel-good morning, or afternoon, I should say. So how about, speaking of feel good and someone who always makes us smile, how about the beautiful Michelle?
Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm 7 years old and I live in Kinnelon, New Jersey. And something that I will
What was the one thing that made you happy this week, and one thing that made you sad?
what makes me happy is that I got to like spend time with my cousin TT and my whole family. And even something that I was sad is that I didn't. It's that like it's because like I don't really get to spend time with my mommy too.
Oh, I can imagine, Michelle.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Michelle stays with us, and her mom, who's my sister, works at a place where she has to stay. So Michelle misses her mommy sometimes, but sometimes she sees her every other weekend.
Mhm. I bet she misses you too, Michelle.
I'm sure she does. I know she does.
Thank you for telling us, Michelle.
You're
You can
welcome.
you can always tell us anything.
Thank you, Rebecca.
You got it, honey. Speaking of beautiful, how about Owetu from South Africa?
And she has a friend today.
I see. Two very beautiful girls. Owetu, can you introduce yourself?
Unmute yourself.
You gotta unmute, sweetheart. Ah.
Hello everyone, my name is Owetu.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello everyone, my name is Owetu. I am 8 years old, turning 9 the 7th of September. I live in South Africa, and this is my friend Fefe. She is in the same class as me at school. She is 9 years old, and yes. So my first time, the past 2 weeks, what you guys were talking about. And my second one is that I am really happy to be with my friend here, Fefe, who is visiting me. And yeah, I am really fine. Really fine. And then the third one is that I am really happy that I passed my test that I wrote this week. And yes, and then like my low one is like I was looking forward to go to today's competition, but unfortunately my granny didn't have any funds for transport and also for the entrance. I really love modeling and I am really disappointed. But since my friend is here and others have arrived, there are a lot of them, so I think there'll be like a lot of disturbance, and can I be excused so that I can attend them?
Of course, yes. So thank you for telling us all of that. And I love how you said, I was disappointed because I love modeling and I want to do this competition, but it couldn't quite work out. But you know what, Owetu, there's always next time. There's always next time, and you're going to have even more opportunities come your way. I know that. And Fefe too.
Hi, Fefe. Does she want to introduce herself? Or she just wants to?
Can I be excused because there are a lot of can I be excused because there are a lot of people, children, and they are my cousins. Some of them are my friends, so they were visiting me in my spirit. I'm fine. Yes.
Of course. We're just so happy that you came on to say hi.
Go play with them, or they can join you here and listen. So whatever you want to do, Owetu. So good to see you.
Bye, sweetie. All right. How about, let's see. Oh, Ravita in Côte d'Ivoire. Ravita and Pooja, how's it going?
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ritika and I'm 9 years old. I live in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. And something high this week for me was on Monday when me and my friends, we were doing a project and we had to write a speech, and we were able to finish the speech in 45 minutes and we were very productive. And something low for me this week was on Friday, I couldn't go to school because of some reasons. And it was I had my favorite subject that day. So I felt really sad that I couldn't go.
Oh, what's your
Oh,
favorite
bummer.
subject? What's your favorite subject?
Art.
Art. Oh,
Oh, that's right. She does love art. That's right.
Yeah, she does. There'll always be a next time.
Very true. Thanks for joining us.
How's your mommy today?
With you. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Rebecca. How are you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. And hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. We are barely able to see you in those.
Oh,
dark-
I'm sorry. I'll change that so you can see me better.
That is
So what
good.
was your high and what was your low?
That's a little bit of a tricky question for me, but yeah, I've been cooking quite a lot for the kids. So,
Wow.
I'm a food fanatic. I keep taking pictures of everything I cook. I had some of those highs this week, and yeah, and actually this week we are all quarantined because my older one's school friend tested positive. So my daughter has also done the test. We're just waiting for her result.
Oh, I hope that it is good.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's a kid. She'll be able to go through it.
Yeah.
We wish you all the best. We're
Her
thinking
room.
about you.
Yeah, so she's in her room from 2 days. So we did the
Yeah.
test and we're just hoping the result would come today.
Yeah.
We will
We
keep them in our
Yeah.
prayers for sure.
Thank you so much.
Okay, can we get Sandy to go next? Sandy, take it away. And everybody keep in mind, we're at about our 10-minute mark until we go live. So we've got to finish up our introductions within the next 20 minutes so we can stay on schedule, because we do have people on Facebook waiting at 11:30 a.m. EST sharp to hear Megan's presentation. So 10 minutes.
Oh, hi, my name is Sandra. I'm 20. I live in New Jersey. I would say my high for this week was probably I had an easy week of school, with assignments. I didn't have that many assignments to do. So that's good. My low is probably I just had a surgery recently, and I've been having some complications with that. So I went to the doctor, and they're saying that they might have to do surgery if I don't respond to the medicine. So it's kind of annoying because I don't feel like going through another surgery, but yeah.
Yeah, she had her tongue taken out the last time, and now her nose feels like it's blocked. Yeah.
Good luck, Sandy. Keep us
Thank you.
updated.
Yeah.
Well,
Boy, oh boy. All right, how about our dear friend Yati from Bangalore, India, who I know
Hi,
has had a
everyone.
lot of highs this
Hi,
week.
Yati.
Hi, Yati.
Hi, everyone. My name is Yatarth, but you can call me Yati. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Bangalore, India. And well, I'm sorry I'm not able to on my video right now. I'm currently not in Bangalore. I'm in somewhere outside of town in Hampi, so I can't on my video right now. But one high for me this week was that I got to meet my friends after nearly a year. I went to school on Monday and I met nearly all my friends this week, and that was a really good high for me because we had a lot of stuff to catch up on, a lot of stuff to talk about, which was pretty cool. But one of the low for me this week was that I sprained my right ankle after falling down a bike, which
Oh,
pains a
man.
lot. But
Oh
luckily,
no.
yeah, I mean, but luckily I'm healing now, so everything's all good. It's all back
At
to
least
normal.
it
Break
wasn't me
anything,
holding
Yati.
your
We're
hand
going to
as you were
Kenya.
riding. Celisa, wasn't me holding your hand, helping you ride the bike for the first time.
No.
Yati, be careful and heal quickly, okay?
Sure, Rebecca. Thank you.
Yeah, you wouldn't have just sprained your leg. You would have busted it if it was me helping you.
Seriously, and still be in a cast
I know.
almost now.
We still have Beatrice and
Yep. And
Wes.
Tamara. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Tamara.
Oh, Tamara's here. Good.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamara. I'm 11 years old and I live in Nairobi, Kenya. The high during this week that I had fun was probably in school. It was like all of the times we had like laughing, screaming, shouting, running up and down, like all those stuff. Like our social studies teacher, like one day, like he made us like scream because of drawing a demon that looks like the one from a dream that you dream. So he drew a demon, and then when he drew a demon, everyone started screaming, shouting. I was like, ah, me. When I was screaming, I even ran to the desk and hid myself under the desk because I didn't want to see that horrible demon the teacher drew on the blackboard. And the lowest thing is that people are misbehaving in the school and the head teacher is not happy. And now there are like this boy who like came, like he like I remembered like when he took someone's paper, boy who got 94 and he got 66 in maths, and the boy who got 94 and also was the prefect of maths, like he took his paper, ripped it, and then changed the name and changed the answers and put it on the file to impress his
Oh
mother.
no.
To impress his mother. Now the mother was like, this boy cannot get 94 in maths. So I need to call the child, see what behind this truth. The teacher called her and then said, hey, what is this? Is the teacher now like, how? Did the boy get 94? Then the teacher said, no, he got 66. And then went to see. Like people are like watching how the boy was ashamed. The boy was frustrated because he can't find his paper. He went all over the block, the class 5 block. He didn't find his paper. He went to class 4. He didn't get his paper. He found everyone in the desk, in class, in the teacher's desk. Don't find it. And he knew that the boy was hiding his paper. So now people are like, hey, this boy has serious problems, so this boy needs punishment. This boy needs some discipline. So even not only that he did, he also like lied. He also lied to his parents that he has to tell a random person, a randomly ordinary person from where he lives, to call his mom to take him he to school because he lost his memory. Like, who does that anyways? And he did not have memory, just went to school, and the teacher was frustrated of how he did it. This boy only not that the teacher hates him, the whole class hates him, even me too. Because
Well, do you know what, Tamara, though? When somebody is dishonest and they get caught in a lie and they do the wrong thing, people will probably be mad at them for some time. But usually people can forgive and forget and move on, and nobody is perfect. And it sounds like this boy he wanted to have a better grade than what he earned. You know, he just wants to do better. So hopefully he will do the studying and the work to really get that good grade instead of the grade that he didn't want, you know? Because if you get a grade on a test that you don't want, it's probably because the teacher didn't get the work from you that he or she wanted. So
teacher also said, if you want to get good grades, you have to work extra hard to get
it's very true. It's very true. Thank you, Tamara. Guys, we've got 3 minutes. Let's finish these up, okay? Can I please, Dr. Caroline, why don't you call on the next people?
Betty and her son. And then we have, who else?
I'm here.
Nigel.
Hi.
I think it's only
Yeah, I just
Nigel.
want to make sure I just want to make sure we get to the kids first and foremost.
Yeah. Come on, Jason.
Hi.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah, he was not here, so he might not be able to answer the question. He was
Oh,
taking
so Jason, what is the one good thing that happened this week to you, and what was the one thing that you didn't like?
The one good thing that it happened this week, monkeys came to our school and people were running, shouting and screaming, and then the teacher came and told them go to their seats. Then they all stopped screaming and shouting. And
Monkeys came to your school?
yeah, and
Wow, that's interesting. School in Africa.
We have monkeys in our house.
They wanted to learn.
and then when we were told to go for break, and people saw locusts all going around our school, and people were starting screaming, and then the teachers came to our class and told everybody to kneel down, and everybody got punished.
I'd be scared if there were monkeys and locusts at my school. The teacher shouldn't punish you. You all were scared. Oh, that was interesting. That was your high and your low right there.
Yeah. Everyone.
Hi, Betty. How are you?
Hi,
I'm
Betty.
good. Hi. Hi, David. Nice to see you. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Michelle. I just want to tell Michelle that Mommy loves her. She's just working very hard so that she can get a good education and get all those sweet things that she wants. And Mommy will be coming whenever she's free. She'll come see her. So she should not worry. And we love her. She's a nice girl. So I'd say my highest was, Carol, you know my story. So this week I was busy with a friend showing me how to run a small business, how to get contracts, and it was very fulfilling. And probably my low was having to bury a relative who was very young. And the worst of it, she left a very young baby who is only 1.5 years. And it was a very, very sad moment for us.
Really sad.
And I'm very happy to see you all.
Thank you, Betty. And I'm really sorry about you losing a friend. Yeah. Death is not easy.
Much love to you, Betty, and to Jason and Phil also.
Thank you.
Is there anybody who has not gone? They could unmute themselves as I'm getting us here on live.
Wesley, you didn't go yet. If you can unmute, Wesley.
Also, my mom also just logged on. Back.
Ah, yes, and Shilpa.
Oh yeah, Shilpa, yes.
Hey guys. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Shilpa.
Hi. 1 second. I think I'm in the same room as Yati. It's echoing. You can mute yours, please. Okay. Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
We hear you well.
Hey. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, for me, the high this week is vaccination drive has started in our country for the general for the citizens, as in 60 plus and 45 plus with comorbidities. And I have personally been able to help, and the registration process is taking it's new for everyone. And I, as a volunteer, have kind of like figured out a few hacks in it, and have helped more than 15, 20 of the citizens to kind of register, get them the vaccine. I've got them, some of them, to kind of skip the process and go fast because they are aged and they can't spend too much time in the hospital. So yeah, that's my high because I was able to help a lot of people. Lows, I don't think I have any lows. I count my blessings every time. So no lows for me.
Great.
Thanks, Shilpa.
Bangalore,
Thank you.
India.
Yes, yes.
We're seeing all the great work that you and Yati are doing there.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Wes, would you like to unmute and introduce yourself before we go live?
Sure.
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, so my name is Wesley. And
Start your video, Wes. Start your video.
Okay. So my name is Wesley, and I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I'm 11 years old. And one high is my dad's birthday is in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I don't have a low.
Cool. I want to be in your life.
Thanks, Wesley.
Thank you so much, Wes.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Anybody else before we start our live presentation that would like to unmute very quickly and say hi, give their high and low?
Oh, Mrs. Partich didn't go.
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, how are you? You didn't get to go.
Oh.
What was your high this week and what was your low?
My high, of course, is what John was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That I was able to do what I really had wished, to make good use of the very kind gesture from Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
We kept planning to go to that place. Just excuse me, let me walk around because I'm busy in the kitchen. We kept planning, and of course, looking at the terrain of that place, and then people don't stay in one place. So we had to wait until the families were gathered. But I just want to tell Rebecca, you do not know what your birthday meant to so many people. John has just made a highlight of it. Number two, those people were so happy. They couldn't believe it. And I told them, the person sending these gifts doesn't even know you. Is a celeb, she could have chosen otherwise. And they were like, you mean somebody just did this? I said, God sends people our way. So that was my high, because I was able to fulfill what kept heavy in my heart. I was saying, maybe Rebecca is wondering what happened, because of course days were going. But my joy is that I was holding on and trying to make sure that because of the gesture, it goes to the right people. It makes an impact to some families. And sure, it did, Rebecca. We touched quite a number of families. We took them food stuff, and more so our love. Our presence there meant a lot. I wished we had more. In fact, I was telling John, I wish I had even carried double of what we carried, but we did something, and we promised them that even if I'm not going to be there physically, I'll be getting in touch with them. Maybe we can send people. I was trying to get how far that place is. It's just before Magadi, Lake Magadi. Those of you who maybe know the Rift Valley, it's way down towards near Magadi, Lake Magadi in Kenya. So that was my high. My low, just as Betty was saying, we've lost a close friend through COVID. It's really sad. And a few members of the family are also struggling with it. We pray for them. And it's hitting people. And every time you stay, you hear a friend of a friend, either is in hospital, in ICU, or has passed away. So yes, COVID is still very real. And we pray that people will also observe all protocol. So thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. I'm around kitchen trying to set table for my people. And I just want to tell Rebecca, thank you so much. The day you thought about sending that money, you didn't know. We held on to it because we said, We may be thinking people need data to access internet. Somebody else needed food to live for the day, needed a drop of
Yes.
water to keep it. So thank you. May God bless you. May you enjoy many, many more birthdays. May you touch many lives. Thank you, Carol, for connecting us.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
God bless you.
I will
God
do
bless
it every year for sure.
God bless
This
you.
is just
Yeah.
the
Thank you.
best news ever. And I really can't wait to meet everybody in person, along
take
with
it, you see.
Dr. Caroline and Water Gap Africa Safaris. And that day is coming so soon. Thank God.
We,
And we'll
we
connect.
pray and we pray.
We'll connect you with Avery because she does all those projects in Maasai Land.
Yes,
And I'm sure there's probably people that you know.
In case she's listening, Carol, you know, I have adopted several girls and I've taken them through school.
Yes.
Even on that day, there's a girl I identified. She has been away from school and I didn't know since January because she couldn't get school fees. So I'm also trying to see what I can do for her. I mean, the needs are enormous. The challenges are many. You saw it's a very dry area. So there's no source of income.
Yeah.
And the family members are more than maybe what trickles down. They can't sell a cow to take somebody to school before they feed the family. Anyway, we shall talk about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, once we come, we'll definitely go visit that village.
Sure. We'll be so glad. God bless you.
Yes, and Avery's here so she can hear you, so that's great.
Thank you so much again. God bless you.
So many wonderful things to look forward to, and so many ways that we can truly make an impact. So everybody, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about some donations that were sent to a Masai Mara tribe in Kenya and all of the
Maasai tribe.
The Maasai tribe in Kenya and the things that they were able to enjoy as a result of receiving those funds. And it's very little USD. So anything that you can give makes a difference. And we will be there in person for our yearly humanitarian trip to Kenya through Water Gap Africa Safaris. And here, ladies and gentlemen, I have our founder and president, Dr. Caroline Verkijk. Could you please introduce yourself to our online audience so everybody knows who you are, why you're here? Just give them a little bit of background before we start with our guest presenter today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And it's really wonderful having you as our director, and your expertise as a teacher, and just your good demeanor and your good heart, and just that kindness is just something that really goes a long way to help sustain this. So my name is Caroline Verkijk, and I'm the founder of The Voice of Our Child, together with my husband, David. And we founded The Voice of Our Child to give kids the life skills that they need so that they may not fall into depression and have suicidal ideation, because our own child struggled right in front of our face. We didn't know what it was. She didn't know what it was. So we made it our mission to make sure that no parent ever struggles or no parent ever misses out the science that we did, and no kid ever has to struggle without their parent really knowing what it is. Like for kids to know that if they start feeling something in their heart that's kind of weird, or they feel very low, or they feel unneeded, or they feel like even if they died, nobody would miss them, then they can always talk to their parents about it. And the other way that we do our mentorship is by looking for sponsors and organizations to sponsor teens to go on a 2-week humanitarian trip to Kenya, because we have found out, even through just my own children and my husband, that when you engage your kids in humanitarian work and community service, they feel needed. They feel that they've impacted the world in a remarkable way. So we always do reach out to organizations out there to sponsor these teens. And we hope that in June, we'll be able to take as many kids as we can from our program, and also be able to create an impact with the people that we're meeting there. And if you'd like to join our safari to Kenya, it's from June the 25th all the way to July 7th. You could write to us at thevoiceofourchild@gmail.com. But our whole idea here is to mentor these kids, and it does take a village, and our kids learn from the life skills that they get from the wonderful speakers that we've had here, like Meghan, and we all can just wait to hear from her. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Dr. Caroline. Thank you for the overview and the why of what brings us all together here. Each and every week, you can find us Facebook Live, 11:30 a.m. EST. Next, I would love to have our co-founder and resident DJ introduce himself to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Verkijk.
Hi, everyone. I'm David, and I'm looking forward so much to hear from Meghan. And yes, I also have dealt with depression and so forth. So, and I'm going to be speaking on that in a few weeks. So I thank you very much for accepting the invitation to speak to us today.
Yes. Thanks, David. And we definitely look forward to your presentation in the next few weeks, March 20th, I believe. So folks, make sure you tune in each and every Saturday. We have amazing and inspirational guest presenters for you every week, and today is certainly no exception. So without further ado, may I please present to you Meghan, our guest presenter, who is going to be talking with us about her journey of overcoming anxiety and depression through writing as her outlet. Take it away, Meghan, if you're ready.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me here. Caroline, thank you for considering me for this great opportunity. Rebecca, thank you for all the communications that we had in the last couple of days to get ready for this. And David, you as well for setting off the mood with your wonderful music. I appreciate hearing from all of you this morning before we went live. Your story has really touched my heart. I have 3 children of my own, and I think it's just wonderful that you all are taking time out of your day, across the world to join us and have a conversation. So I would like to start off just telling you a little bit about myself. I have been a sufferer of depression, anxiety, and PTSD as long as I can remember. I'm the youngest of 6 children. And growing up, I was really close with my sister, Melissa, who's only 14 months older than I am. And I was like her little shadow. And she was very outgoing and bubbly and sociable. And she took it upon herself, I think, to talk for me anywhere we went somewhere. So for the longest time, my dad thought there was something wrong with me because I didn't really talk in front of anyone except for my mom and my older sister. And I feel like that had something to do with me being more introverted than extroverted. So anytime we were in public, I was really shy and anxious and didn't really know how to handle other human beings and just kind of shut down inside myself. And my sister was always my guardian. So fast forwarding when I started school, I tried my best to make new friends, but I always felt subconsciously that they were judging me, and it kind of made me fall a little bit more into myself where I didn't really talk very much to people. And I found that my favorite classes were always art and writing because it gave me an outlet to sort of express those feelings of anxiety without really knowing what it was. So when I was younger and I had all of these uncomfortable feelings, I didn't really know how to describe it or define it because I was only 6, 7, 8 years old. As I got older, I found subconsciously that I really liked all of my English classes. I didn't really understand why, but I really liked storytelling and reading books and being able to have my imagination just kind of float away when I got caught up in a really good book. And I always wanted to be, like one of those great authors that wrote good books. So during my English classes, I really got involved with, trying to use what words I could to really describe how I was feeling or what I was thinking, and found out that I was really good at it, but didn't really necessarily understand that it was my outlet for overcoming some of those dark feelings that I was feeling until very much later on in my life when I got to college. So when I got to college, I think that was the darkest moment of my life. There were several things that I experienced, not just mentally, but physically. I was very suicidal, very depressed, didn't feel like I could talk to anyone, and, just kept journals here and there and wrote down what I felt. And I had an English class where we studied spoken word and spoken word poetry. And it really opened up my eyes on how to create something that, had a rhythm to it, had a flow to it, and just really express what you're feeling in a beautiful artistic way. And it got me thinking about my journey from a child to an adult. And I never really knew that I was using journaling as a way to like escape all of those negative emotions and negative feelings. And I had so much more appreciation for it when I got into college. So it has always been something that I really liked doing. When I was younger, I just remember that growing up in our family, we were always taught that nothing is too big to handle on your own. So we never really had any conversations about mental health or how to deal with things in a healthy, appropriate way. And I'm really happy that I found writing accidentally, because I do say accidentally, just a way to vent out my feelings, because I feel like if I didn't keep those journals, I would have had a really more difficult time, dealing with such emotions that I was feeling at the time. When I got through college, I did the best that I could, to handle things on my own, but it was always that writing piece that I kept falling back to really get things out that I couldn't explain to other people. So I still do that today. Like if I have, any anxiety or depression going on, I still have journals that I keep, and I'll write things down just without even thinking. And sometimes it's funny because if you look at my journals from past, if you look at some of them, they don't really make any sense. It's just words that I've been writing down. But it's really helpful, to do that, just unload everything that you're feeling without even thinking about it. Step away for maybe a couple minutes or an hour, however long that you want, and then go back to that and read what you had written down, and then taking that moment to really think about, okay, why did I feel this way? And it's really been a great avenue just for me to like keep my feelings, in check, and understanding what I was feeling in those moments of darkness. And right now, I'm a writer as a profession, which is really ironic how all of that turned out. But I help manufacturers and other companies tell their stories in a way that isn't so robotic. I add that emotion to it. And, there's so many people that I've talked to that are like, well, I can't do that because I'm not a good writer. And you don't necessarily have to be a good writer. You just have to, be able to be comfortable being honest and transparent with yourself and just writing it down. And it's not something that you have to share with other people, but just seeing it on a piece of paper, the words that just come out naturally is really helpful and sort of therapeutic to have a hold on your feelings and your emotions. Another thing too that I've helped my husband, who is a veteran, he was in Afghanistan for 3 combat tours. And when he came home and we met, I always thought there was something that he was like hiding or not necessarily getting out. And he was struggling. He was having deep struggles of the things that he experienced when he was over in Afghanistan. And he never did any kind of writing or journaling. And I suggested it to him. And it's actually been really helpful for his PTSD. And things that you experience on a personal level, sometimes it's just really hard to share that with other people because you have the fear of they might judge you wrong or misunderstand you. And that was always something that I had an issue with. I thought if I was too honest with people, I would get judged really harshly. And when I was growing up and going through all those feelings, I never really shared any of that information with my family because one, I didn't want to let them down or disappoint them. I didn't want them to think anything negatively of me. And I just remember a couple years ago, the initial journals that I started out with when I was like 6, 7 years old, my mom finally saw them and she's just like, I had no idea that you were in such a dark place. And she's like, I just never knew. And I told her, it's not easy for someone that's that young to try to explain their feelings when they themselves don't understand them. So it was really a long learning process. And there are some things that I wish I would have done differently when I was so young. I wish I would have opened up to my parents more. But because of journaling, I think that really helped me better understand some of the things that I still feel today. I still go back to those initial journals and I read through them. And it's just a process. You have to really be patient with yourself and know that Rebecca said this earlier, like you have your highs and you have your lows, but everything eventually will balance itself out and things will get better. And tomorrow's a brand new day, but you just have to keep going. And writing really helps me out still to this day. So if I'm anxious or having a bad mental health day, I will sit down in where I feel comfortable, open up my journal and just start writing. And sometimes the writing turns into stories. Sometimes it turns into spoken word. Sometimes it's just a bunch of words jumbled together. Sometimes they're all cap letters of me yelling at myself. But it's a nice way to just get everything out on paper, release it, and then going back and reading it and then figuring out, okay, can I turn this into something good that might touch someone else? And most of the time the answer is yes. So anyone that's on this call, I mean, that's really my story. That's really my presentation. Anyone on this call that has any questions about, where to get started, I have some ideas on how you can get started journaling. If you have any questions about things that I've shared with you, feel free to ask me. But my story, I mean, I still struggle today with anxiety and depression and PTSD. And it's still hard for me to really talk to people about it and be open about it. And like today, before I got on this call, I had to write things down because I was so anxious and nervous. Because I still have that fear that I might, disappoint someone or get judged by someone. And it's the writing that really helped me just say, you got this, you're good, you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And yeah, it just turned into something that I do for a profession now. And I love it. It's just a great way to just get everything out there. So that's my story. I don't know if you guys have any questions or want me to elaborate on anything else, please let me know.
That's amazing, Megan. Thank you so much. Gosh.
Story. I don't know if you guys have any questions or want me to elaborate on anything else, please let me know.
I would like to confirm everything that Megan has said. I also, as a young woman, I started making lists of feelings, and I am now, I'm retired, but I was a mental health counselor for many years. And one of the problems that people get into is they're feeling something, but they don't know what they're feeling. They just feel like they're wrong and it's not a good feeling. So I just want to acknowledge you for how bright it is to think if I put it down on paper, then the feeling is on the paper. Then you can look at it and self-reflect about these feelings. So it's a wonderful tool. And it's something that all human beings, no matter as soon as you're able to write, you're able to write things down and you can put your heart on a paper. And if your heart is in a black mood, later you can rip up that paper, but the feeling gets on the paper. It's sort of a magical process and it allows us to then think about our feelings in a much more productive way.
And I've done that before too. I've had a lot of negative feelings written on a piece of paper and I tore them up, crumpled them up, threw them in a basket. It's just a good way to reflect on better understanding yourself internally and being able to express it like in a better way to people on the outside that might not understand. I did a writing exercise with my husband. It was a moment where we weren't getting along and we decided that he would go in one corner and I would go in my corner and we would each write 10 words that we thought the other thought about us, and that like in a bad way, and then 10 words that they thought that we thought we would use about each other in a good way.
Wow.
And it was a really great learning experience, because some of the things that I thought negatively that he thought about me personally were absolutely just false and ridiculous. And it was just a misunderstanding and a miscommunication that we were having with each other. So it's really a great way too to practice with other people, because when you write them down and you get back together and you speak it out loud to each other, you kind of hear that ridiculousness in those thoughts, and you can laugh about it later, and you can cry about it later too. I mean, we both cried at the same time, but it was really a good and where the misunderstanding was coming from, and it engaged us in a conversation that we really needed to have as a couple to get stronger together. With my daughter, she's 17. She has struggled with a lot of depression, and she and I have written letters together, because sometimes in the moment when you're not feeling so great, it can intensify your language, and you can say the wrong things that might hurt someone and that you might later regret. So we decided that as an exercise, when we're having those moments with each other where we just want to like rip each other's hair out or yell at each other, we decide to go in separate areas and write letters to each other. And it really sets the tone the next time we come together to have a conversation. It's a lot easier to, have that conversation with yourself when you're heated than two people yelling at each other. So we make that a habit in our household. Like if we're upset with each other, then we write things down, and then we exchange those letters, read what the other person wrote, reflect on it, and then come together. And it's a lot more calm of a situation when we're able to get to the root of the problem. And she has suffered from depression too, as Caroline's daughter. And it was something that I didn't even know she was going through. And so we had a conversation after writing some things with each other. And I didn't even know she attempted to kill herself until we had definitely made our communication a lot stronger. And there's no pressure to have a conversation right away. We're able to, calm down, reset, and then come together in a healthier manner. So I definitely agree with writing lists down and emotions down.
Wow. At what age, Megan, did you realize that you were suffering from depression? Like when you were young, I know you didn't know what it was, but at what age did you feel that something was different with you or about you?
The first time I would want to say that I felt something was off, probably 6 or 7. It might have been sooner. I thought it was just me being shy. But as I got older and things started to progress and get worse, I just felt like that it stemmed from being younger. I didn't realize I had something. I didn't realize I was struggling with depression and anxiety until I got to college, because that was actually the first time that I saw a therapist and sat down and was able to go over what I was feeling and why I was feeling it. And that's when I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And soon after that, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So when we did start the medication, I had to get taken off of it right away, because we didn't want anything to happen with my daughter while I was pregnant with her. So it was a very up and down roller coaster. But when I was pregnant with her and I couldn't stay on the antidepressants, I wrote every single day throughout my pregnancy, and that really, really helped with understanding what I was going through. And then after having her, of course, there was postpartum, which I didn't understand at the time either until many years later. And then I was able to better cope with it after having my 2 sons, because I finally knew what it was and understood it and was able to deal with it a lot better. But it's really hard struggling with something that you can't define, and it's really hard struggling with something that you don't know what it is. So I wasn't very good at handling it or dealing with it growing up because I just didn't know how to like describe it. I mean, I said I was sad or angry, but it was much deeper than those descriptions. So when I and was able to talk to someone and they were able to walk me through what it was, I was able to find a better way to handle it. And but writing was still one of those ways for me to continue handling it. So it's just so
for
I
a parent, oh sorry. Or for a parent who might be listening, I know that 6 years and 7 is young, and I also actually think that kids do start feeling that even when they're younger, but they don't know how to express it. Maybe they cry a lot or they're fussy. So what was it that you were doing that a parent could now look at their child and know that they're struggling like that? I mean, did you maybe sleep a lot? Did you not like to be told to do chores? Did you not like your parents? Did you know, like what are those things that you think that you did that a parent right now can look at their child and know that they're struggling?
I didn't really cry a lot. I basically clung to my sister anywhere that we went. If she was not around me, then I would get really irritated and agitated. Not so much crying, but just like kind of whining a little bit. And if people wanted to talk to me, I never looked at them in their face. I would always look down at my feet. But that got miscommunicated as just me being shy and introverted. So it's really tough. With my son, he is very, I don't want to say sensitive because that can just have such a negative connotation to it, but he's very emotional sometimes. So I keep an eye on him because I feel like there is something going on there and he just doesn't know how to express it because he just doesn't know what it is. So I try to keep him really active. I try to bring him outside more, and that seems to help with his mood swings when he has them. And it's really hard sometimes hearing parents who are like, well, they're just 2, that's just the age, or they're just 3, that's just the age, because we don't really know because they can't really communicate what they're feeling except through having a temper tantrum or, so I try to keep them engaged and keep them going. And with COVID, it has been really, really hard because we haven't been able to go outside or go anywhere that offers like extracurricular activities for 2 little boys that want to run everywhere. So they both have been a little temperamental, more so than they have before COVID hit. So we just try, to keep them outside as much as we can. We try to engage with them and play with toys and talk to them, even probably when you shouldn't be talking to them. So like when my son is sitting on the potty to go potty, I'm talking to him from the other room and I'm walking by and checking on him and just continually engaging with them. With our family, because I was the youngest of 6, I just think my mom thought I was quiet and okay. And I just because of the way that we dealt with mental health, we didn't deal with it at all. I just thought, yeah, I'm shy and introverted, but there was something else going on. So it's difficult with younger kids, I think, to just kind of say, yeah, they're depressed or there's something more serious going on because they don't know how to communicate it.
That's so true. And that's why we do what we do here, so that the kids can know what to call it, because a lot of kids don't know what to call it. My daughter didn't know what to call it till she went to college. Most parents just think, oh, it's teenagers acting up, or it's a teenager who wants to sleep the whole day. It's a teenager who doesn't want to do chores.
Yeah.
It's a teenager who hates the mother and thinks you're the most horrible thing that ever existed, just because you're intruding into their space, or just telling them, can you get out of bed, or can you, clean the house. So I'm really grateful that you're talking like that. And I'll give the kids here maybe an opportunity to ask you a question. Or anybody who might have a question, just unmute yourselves and ask Haley a question.
I think another thing too, real quick to add on that is I never had a problem playing by myself. So everybody said that I was kind of just a rebel that way, or a loner. They called me a loner because I never had a problem playing by myself. And I think maybe that might have been a sign too to just look out for, is kids that are okay playing by themselves. What's the reason why they don't want to interact with their kids? And it might be because they're struggling with something.
Yeah. Oh, I keep calling her Haley. It's Meghan. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Meghan,
Yeah. We
Meghan, I
already
100% agree. I 100% agree with you. And I really, just listening to you talking about, you know, journaling, how you feel, or when you were upset, or when you were trying to make sense of something. I think a lot of people can really identify with that. And that is just such an accessible avenue for anyone at any age to take. You know, all it takes is pencil and paper, or maybe now the people type more often than not, even just a computer. And I'm sorry, I can't have my video on it. At noon on Saturdays, I do have some commitments that I have to stay true to, but I'm still here and I'm still listening. So
we went over our time, but that's sorry.
Well, one of the things I wanted to ask you is, and to any kids or adults out there listening, do you remember when, you know, they used to sell journals like at card or stationery stores, and the journals would always have a little lock on them, like a little lock with a little key. And when I think about that, I think, you know, a journal is something so private. It's so private, and anything that you want to write, you can keep those thoughts to yourself. And when I had a journal with that little lock and key, that was really a reminder to me as a little girl that I could have my own private thoughts and write about the way that I felt, and nobody else had to know, because that was a way that I could figure things out or make sense of things. But I feel like today, you know, with blogging being so popular and everybody just putting everything out there, I feel like we need a reminder that we don't have to put everything out there, and we can keep our feelings like that we want to keep private. It's okay to keep things private. And I remember that probably one of the, talk about a low, one of the worst days when I was a little girl was when I realized that my parents were reading my journal and then not just asking me questions about what I wrote, but were actually angry at me for the way that I was writing about how I was feeling. Maybe about, you know, something like a fight that my mom and I had, or the way that I felt about something. I actually got in trouble for some of those things. So I just want to know how you feel about, like, really keeping things private that you want to be private, especially when there's so much emphasis today on putting everything out there.
Well, I think that it's okay to keep things private. I still write in a journal, and it's my journal. It's something that I don't share with my husband. It's something that I don't share with my daughter. And I've explained that to them. Like, these are my thoughts. If I'm ever ready to share what I felt a certain day, I will share it with you. But if I don't share it with you, it's nothing against you. It's just something for me. And I think that is okay. My daughter had a journal where you had to say a password or something and record it. It was like a voice protected kids journal. And I explained to her, I think when she was 9, it was a long time ago, when we first got that journal for her, I explained it to her, like, you know, this is for you to get whatever you need to get out on a piece of paper. And if you feel like you can't share it, then don't share it. But if you feel like you need to talk it out with me, then talk it out with me. If you want to show it to me before we have a conversation, definitely do that. And I will read it, you know, full attention on what you needed to write down. And then we can have a conversation about it later. I do know that parents, when they read journals with your situation, Rebecca, that they do get angry. And I always try to understand why parents get angry, because I had a similar reaction with my mom. And I think she became angry, not at me for having written that stuff down. I think she thought at some point she failed as a mom because I didn't feel comfortable enough coming to her and sharing that information with her.
I think you hit the nail on the head, by the way.
Yes, I was
Because
just
this year, I mean, I just shared something with her this year about something that happened to me in college. And she looked at me because she had no idea it happened. And I explained to her, I'm like, this is one of the reasons why I had a lot of issues in college that you didn't know about. And I was like, I just felt like I couldn't share this piece of information with you up until now. And she cried and she was upset, but she was like, I just don't feel like I was there for you when I hear this information. And I had to reassure her that it was nothing that she did wrong. It was just where I was at in my headspace, and I needed to work through it myself before I'm comfortable sharing that information with her. And I think that's normal for parents to feel, especially if your parents have mental health issues that they're dealing with, because my mom has had depression and it was a long time before she even realized it. So I think opening that door of communication is good, but just setting that guideline of, okay, if you want to share, you can. If you don't want to share, that's okay too. But just, and I always emphasize to my daughter, like, you don't have to give me details about when you're upset with something, that's fine, but please let me know that you're upset so that I can be there for you in some sort of way, whether that's just giving her a hug or taking her to Starbucks and getting her a coffee or just letting her hang out with her friends. Because sometimes she wants to just leave the house without telling us where she's going. And it's like, you can't do that. Like, I need to know that you're safe. So she'll just say, I'm having a bad mental health day. I need to go talk to my friend. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Just text me and let me know you got there safe and you're alive. And that's what she does. So just setting those expectations, I think, helps too. And then it doesn't worry people when something does happen and you disappear for an hour, 2 hours to go for a drive or a walk.
So well said.
Yeah, so really, very well said, Megan. But my view has always been like, and what we're trying to do here, the voice of our child, is that when your child is writing all these dark things in the journaling, is because she can't be able to talk out to somebody. So if she's struggling with depression, she's writing all these things down, and you don't know as a parent, sometimes it's too late. Like there's the Seagulls who own the Westgate. They have a book called Victoria's Voice. And the book is their daughter who overdosed, and their daughter had this diary where she wrote so many things. And when she died, she left a note, and she says, I want you to publish my diary. So they actually, when you look at the book, it's exactly her diary, page after page. And the parents were always like, I wish we found that diary before. So what we try to talk to kids here is that it's okay to not be okay. What you're feeling, maybe when your mom felt that or your dad, don't hide it in a journal and lock those feelings inside, because it will lead you to depression and suicide, because it really becomes a dark place. But it's better to bring them out. And I do remember when I actually took my daughter's phone, my oldest. One time I took her phone because she was acting out, and I saw all these things she had written, and I felt like I was just so shocked. It was like, my child is like going through feelings like that, and she just hated me, and she had nothing good to say about me. And I thought, that is kind of so weird. I have 3 other kids. They don't really think that about me. And now later is when I found out. She was like, I was just feeling this anger inside about you. Like, you're telling me to get out of bed when I couldn't even be able to get out of my head, or like to clean or to do those things. And it was just my way of expressing. So had I not looked at her phone and taken it, I would not have known what she's suffering from. So it is good to journal, but it's also good to talk to your parents about it, because the journal, yes, you are able to put those things in there, and I think it's great, but you have to talk to somebody who can help you, because mostly it's not just therapy can make you just right, but there's really like dark feelings that you can feel. And sometimes parents have found their kids' journals when it's a bit too late.
Mhm.
Maybe
And
they don't feel comfortable talking to certain parents, so maybe they could find people who they do feel comfortable talking to. And if it's their parents, that's great. If it isn't, at least they can express those feelings and get them out. You know, even if it's a friend might not have a good, and they might not have a counseling degree or anything, and neither does a parent, but just the ability for them to dump these things on some friend who's not going to be judging them.
Yeah, but
or
not somebody their
anybody.
age, because somebody their age will just advise them. They know as good as you know at your 14 years old or 15. So it's always good to talk to an adult. And like Avery, I think she's dealt a lot with, I think her degrees in mental health, and she's dealt with so many people who, like kids will talk to kids their age, like, oh, my boyfriend broke up with me, and then your 12-year-old friend is like, yeah, mine too. Oh, I feel like killing myself. Me too. You know, it's not like if they told me and I'd be like, oh, don't worry about it. Like the beautiful ones are not yet born, like my mom would always tell me. So it's always good to seek the counsel of somebody older. And I tell kids here all the time and around the world, whatever you feel, we have felt. There's no shame in you feeling depressed. There's no shame in you feeling like you want to sleep the whole day or that you want to kill yourself. There's no shame in that. It's normal. Mental health and depression is normal. You didn't choose it. It doesn't mean that you're stupid. You're very special. So don't be afraid, even if you're an adult, to talk to people about it. But the stigma has been like, you're stupid, you're crazy, you're, you know, all that. And that's why people are so afraid of talking about it.
my daughter has a friend who's been going through some challenging times, and she doesn't feel like she can trust any adult around her right now because of the situation. And my daughter came to me and actually explained to me what was going on and shared some text messages with me. And my husband and I took some steps to get other people involved in the situation, but we actually tried communicating with the mother and explaining to her, hey, this is what's going on. Is everything okay? Because I mean, you don't want to get presented a situation and not do anything about it, because if something does happen where it's the worst case scenario, you're just going to feel bad about it. And we tried to be proactive, and the situation was the mother just was like, no, that's just how she is. And the daughter's still struggling. And I told my daughter, I said, you know, I need you to save everything that she sends you, because if we have to take this another route, we're going to, but you need to let her know that if she ever needs a place to just come and hang out, she's always welcome here. So there are those situations where some kids just don't feel like they can trust adults. And I'm letting everyone here on the phone call know that there is an adult out there that you can trust, whether it's outside of your parents, if it's a teacher at school, if it's, you know, a first responder like a police officer, there is someone out there that you can trust that will listen. And you just have to say, you know, I'm struggling. You don't have to provide any details or anything. And like Caroline said, you know, it's a moment, and some moments last longer than others, but it's just a moment. And as Rebecca said earlier too, the good always outweighs the bad, and the next day is a brand new day. So I strongly feel that everyone's life is valuable, and there's a way to get over those hills, those mountains. And sometimes it's harder than other days, but it will get better the next day. So Caroline, everything that you're doing with Voice of Your Child and going to Kenya, this call, I would love to get more information about that, because I do believe that setting kids up in these humanitarian situations and showing them, you know, hey, this is what other people are going through, it opens their eyes to, you know, yeah, you know, maybe I don't have it as bad as some other people. And being able to help other people, it just gives them so much value themselves too. So I would love to learn more about that situation and get my daughter involved, because I know she would love it. She would have a great time.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we'll give you more information about it. And you can also find it on our site at thevoiceofourchild.org. But I will give you more information. I truly believe in it. And I want us to think that I say that the reason why some kids don't trust their parents is like we try to make our lives look so perfect. If your kid fails in school, you're going crazy over them. You don't tell them how many times you failed. If your kid is feeling, heartbroken or is suffering from depression, they think you're perfect. Little do they know, maybe they're suffering depression because one of their parents, has suffered from depression. So we have to be vulnerable to our kids and show them our weaknesses too, so that when they go through those things, they'll be like, oh, mom and dad have gone through that too. They don't feel like they are alone. So if you are honest, like maybe Megan with your daughter, and you told her you struggle too, it would be very easy for her to come and say, Mommy, you know what? I feel exactly the same way you were telling me that you felt when you were 12. But if we are always showing them that perfect life, when our kids start drinking or smoking, and you don't tell them how you struggle at their age, then they think that they're failing you. So we have to really be open to our kids and talk to them about depression and feelings like that. And I don't believe there's too young to talk about those feelings. It's like when I think about so many things about my daughter, I even think that every time I took her to a daycare, she'd be crying like the whole day, and they'd be like, my goodness, we can't even have her here. Like her tantrums were bigger than other kids, but that's because for her it's a chemical imbalance. She was struggling, and if only somebody had like talked to her. Even in school, kids are punished and sent home because we think they're acting up. Maybe this kid is just feeling so misunderstood. Maybe they're suffering from attention deficit. Maybe they're just not getting it. We need to really, the schools need to really talk about these things. Even bus drivers, I always say, need to be educated about signs and symptoms. They're picking up our kids. They can tell when a kid is always sitting at the back or a kid is acting up. Anybody who comes into contact with our kids should be able to learn these things. It should be a subject in school. So when it happens, it's like kids are like, oh, okay, I'm prepared for it. Like we talk to our girls about reaching puberty and you're gonna get a period. So when they get it, they're not like, oh, I'm gonna go hide in a hole. They know they were expecting it. So same things with these things. Let's talk to our children. People think that we are putting the ideas in their head. No, we should be educating them that they're one day going to feel like that. I think 1 in 5 children actually struggles, with those feelings of depression and anxiety.
Well, really, to become an adult human being, to go through the growing process from child to adult, and hopefully to a fulfilled adult and wise person, it's part of the human condition to have depression and anxiety. These are along the way, and it's our solving of these problems that grows us up, really. So it's a matter of balance, just because like some people have, they become imbalanced to the anxious or the or sad, but all human beings experience these feelings. I think that's very important to say. And it doesn't make you ill because you're depressed or anxious. It means you have a problem that you need to solve. Something in your life is not correct. And while it's true that some people are more vulnerable to deeper stages of depression and anxiety, still, we must realize that every human being suffers these feelings at times. And of course, as you go along in life, you begin to understand, oh, I'm having a problem I'm not aware of now. Why? And I must solve this problem. This requires great maturity. And then, people are able to handle their feelings. So it's learning to handle these feelings that all human beings experience.
Wow. That's beautiful, Avery, that you've said that, because sometimes people say, oh, I've never really suffered from depression. Like there are people, it can be seasonal. And then people say, oh, you're making light of depression by just saying, oh, I was depressed during the summertime. I was depressed when my marriage broke. I was depressed when I lost my job. But it's a feeling that people go through at some point in time. And that's really great for you to mention that it can happen to all of us as human beings, that to
Does
have those.
happen to all of us.
Yeah, but some people just like it's a permanent feeling that they go through.
Getting stuck there
Yes.
is not where we want to be, not where anyone wants to be, and that's what may need extra help to not be stuck. But it doesn't mean if we have depressive feelings that we're going to be depressed our entire lives. And I
No.
think young people don't always realize that. They think, oh my God, this is the way life feels, you know.
That is so true.
Good point.
Any of the kids who has a question? Anybody who knows any of their friends who has had those feelings, or you've had those feelings yourself, or anyone has a question? Lacey, Anita, Rebecca, anybody? Sandy, Jason, do you know of any of your friends at school who has expressed feelings like that, or yourself? I think all the information we gave them was enough for them. They probably, we probably answered everything, but I'm just so glad that we are able to give everybody, that kind of information. And we have to take in consideration that some people are in countries where it's almost midnight right now. So yeah, we'll let them go. But thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much, Avery, and everybody who was here and in talking to our kids about depression and mental illness. And we'll go keep talking about it and just let them know that there's a way that it can be solved. And you don't have to feel like that forever. And you don't have to feel like you're hopeless or you're useless. If you're being bullied or something, or you're failing in a class or something is going on, just know that it's probably something that you're going through, and that doesn't make you, that it's not permanent in your life. And if you're a parent and you've had Megan say very well, watch out for all those signs in your children. And it's okay to even sit your 2-year-old and say, why are you so angry right now? So thank you so much, everybody. And this is always such a great welcome. And every Saturday we meet here. And from 10:30 to 11:30, we hold a private Zoom just with our guests so that our kids can really be able to express themselves. 11:30, we go live so that our guest speaker can share with everybody out there our topic for the day. So our goal is to reduce the rate of depression and suicide in our teens. And we urge, if you're an organization or somebody who would like to sponsor some of these teens, to go on a mission trip, humanitarian trip, where they go and speak to other kids, we would encourage you to go to the voiceofourchild.org and donate there. If you'd like to be part of the trip that we're making, we can give you the information. Write to us at voiceofourchild@gmail.com. But we do believe that we are all who we are because of somebody else, and we can really be there for these people. And one of the things that we do when we go to Kenya is that we have the kids from the US on one side and the kids from Kenya on one side, and they exchange ideas about what stresses them. And I'm telling you, by the time we come back, these kids are like, oh my goodness, they become so empathetic, and they're like, Mommy, I don't even know I was complaining about an iPhone. That kid has never seen a phone. Mommy, I don't know even why I was complaining that I need this brand of shoes. That kid has never owned a pair of shoes. And you find them really more giving and understanding and really realizing that they didn't choose where they wanted to be born. They're very lucky that they were born in the US, because they could have been born in one of those countries and that would be their life. So we thank you so much, and we'll see you next Saturday. Kids, you know where to get us anytime, 24/7. We're here for you.
Thank you
Bye,
so much,
everybody.
Megan. Appreciate
Thank you
it,
so
Megan.
much.
So much, Megan. My goodness, your story was beautiful, and I'm sure we'll be, if you leave your contact here in the chat, sometimes these kids like to get in touch with our guest speaker. Sometimes they might have a private question for you. So if you could share your email in the chat, that would be really great.
I took a lot of notes, Megan. Thank you.
Oh,
I know.
thank you so much.
my notebook is full. Thank
Have
you
a great day, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank
yes,
you.
and we hope that next time your kids can join us every Saturday. Thank you so much, Avery, and we can't wait to have you be a guest one of these days sometime in April. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, Jason and Phil.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See ya. Let me first stop recording here. And yes, we are off live and